It says preparing. It says we're on Facebook. Oh, that's a new feature.
Okay.
It says we're on Facebook. Okay, I just got to change to public. Now we can log out of there. I don't know why Facebook makes this so complicated now, but okay, here we go. I see us moving. That's a good sign. Good afternoon, Anya. How are you?
Ah, I cried a little bit, but I feel really great now that I cried it out. How are you?
I wish I could cry. I'm like half dead. It looks like my eyes are just like whatever. My nervous system just wants to run away screaming right now. My whole body aches. Most normal people would probably have gone to the doctor many, many, many times this week and said, "What the hell's wrong with me?" and been filled full of Tylenol and all this other stuff. But I know it's light. I know it's transmuting. I don't know what it's for, and I'm fucking tired. So
I thought a few times that I would go to the psychiatric ward during this process. It's definitely come up for me.
we're doing something. It's never happened before, and it seems to get stronger and stronger and heavier every time. So
Let's just set an intention for June to be an awesome month because May was so wobbly.
exactly. And we're going to see some stuff changing, and
Yeah,
it's not all going to be inner work that we can
exactly. Fruits of
wonder
our
if,
labor.
well, yeah, it doesn't seem like there's any result of all the efforts that we're doing some days. So, but cool. Well, what's been going on with the crying? What were you feeling there, my dear?
I had a trigger come up for me, and part of it has to do with like creativity and working with other people. For me, I get so passionate about something that I just like I'll tunnel vision and then I'll just go boom. Like there's nothing else. I'm just focused on this tunnel thing and then just like pa 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 pa. So like I trap myself by becoming unaware of the people around me and like I'm spazzing out all of these ideas, but I forget to ground myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I forget to look over and say, "How are you doing? How are you feeling about that?"
Mm-hmm.
So I had a trigger like that come up for me this morning with the person I'm collaborating with. And he's super supportive. It's like feminine and masculine balance, yin and yang.
Mm-hmm.
And like it felt so good to be vulnerable, but it like did trigger me. And he's supportive. He's cool, but it triggered me because I was like, "Oh my god, it's happening again." And like I'm just getting pitted into the ego and just forgetting about others and being of service. And I'm getting, warped in my own repetitive loops, and
Mm-hmm.
the ego, I could feel the ego step in and blindside me, and so it just, it was that, and I cried that all out.
What was so bad about the ego?
There's nothing bad about it. It's when it takes too much of a domineering presence where I neglect to ask people, "Hey, how are you doing?"
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's want for self, right?
Yeah.
So is it really bad? What's the harm that it does?
Well, I just think in the past, I didn't get the results I wanted when I allowed it to take center stage. It would kind of shoot me in the foot.
Mm-hmm.
So
Out of control.
yeah, I got out of control and I just don't want to go through that again. And, that's why I do breath work, meditation to get myself grounded. But when I'm working on something so passionate, you get swept up.
Mm-hmm. So many people I hear talk about the ego death and all this kind of stuff. Do you really think we can survive on this planet without an ego?
No, we need to have the ego, and there just needs to be modules of balance and everything. And I'm not hating on my ego, it's just the trigger that came up of, oh my gosh, like I'm not listening.
And do you think ego's from the heart or from the head?
The head?
Okay. So what I've been finding lately, and it came from your heart, the crying, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But the only place to reside is in your heart, because the head, I
Yes.
read some stuff after what you said, and the last one was, yeah, the darkness is all clawing at us and all that kind of stuff. That was all egoic based head stuff that was trying to say, oh, you're not doing this, so this isn't happening, or you're not making progress, or why are
Yeah.
you doing all this shit, and it's hurting you, and blah, 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 because it's all from the head.
Yes. 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 Yes.
But it all gets really, really calm once it goes into the heart.
Yeah. Well, I cried my way back to the heart and like had a beautiful, vulnerable exchange. So, but I felt really good. Like, so it had to happen, obviously.
That was with your partner guy who you're talking about, or?
Yeah, creative.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, our head, I don't know how many people are aware of where the ego comes from, but the ego comes from, fuck, I can't even remember the name of it now. Course in Miracles, it talks about how there was the mad thought, and we were all part of God and all part of this beautiful energy and love, and that's all we felt and created, and we were part of God. And then one of us, or a part of God, all of a sudden says, well, what if we weren't part of God? And guess what? We were instant manifestors. Holy fuck. Guess what happened? All of a sudden you weren't part of God. Well, how can you be separated from God unless there's something between you and God? Guess what that was? It was the ego. The ego came and said, oh, you did something wrong. You must be not good enough to be part of God anymore. And it said, I will protect you. And it went on this mad rush to cloud and veil and keep you from just reconnecting to God and becoming back to God.
Yep.
So the only way there can be a human experience is that ego. That's where duality comes from.
Yeah.
So we are two people, right? We're the part that's God and we're the part that's the human.
Right.
And we're in this constant struggle to get back in connection with God, because we lost our connection because we chose a choice. It's not like we were evil or bad, or Eve ate the apple, or any of that kind of shit, that we're not in a happy place. No, we're here to experience what it is to be not part of God, while energetically we still are.
Yeah, and climbing our way up the ladder through amnesia.
And do you think God could have ever experienced this depth of disparity and darkness and all of this kind of stuff if it was all inside of God? Probably not.
No.
Because you couldn't explore. How does it feel to feel pain? How does it feel in that place of that? Would there ever be pain? Would there ever be suffering? So the uniqueness of this place is our disparity and our not being happy and not being aligned. And it got way out of control. And the collective plan and the collective belief and all this kind of got taken over by a few people that thought they were better than everybody else. Or I personally feel it's like their inner child was so wounded. It was like their sandbox alone, and they only knew the way, or else their reality would twist away. If you don't have people to work for you and to slave for you and all this kind of stuff, how can you be the most powerful unless you make somebody lesser?
Yeah, and I mean, and that they saw that from dad and mom, who didn't give them that love, and that fractured them, and they thought that was the only way, through control, and it passed on generations.
Well, and then they get in control and they're still in their inner child, and then their kids are better than all the other kids, and it just keeps going on and on and on.
Yeah.
And then they fight and scrabble, and there's like 3 or 5 or whatever families in the top there that are running everything.
Yeah, and here we are now, vaccine rollout.
Well, and we're in a planet with 8 million people.
Yeah.
And Anya and I were talking about that. I live in Alberta, Canada, and we're supposedly at 65% vaccinated already. We're the highest vaccinated place in all of Canada, if maybe not the whole world. And 65% is a pretty big number.
What if they were making that up, though?
It could well be, but they're actually doing the rollout of our lockdown reduction based on those percentages. And they're in a mad step to get to the second stage already, because we've already met it. And they're kudoing people for, if it's a propaganda campaign, then it's perfect. It's like, oh, I didn't get on the boat. And most people are already. You and I talked about this a month ago. Didn't you say the same thing in California or something was stated?
It's not mandatory, no.
No, but they said there was like 65. I remember you asking me and saying it was a really high number, and I'm like, that sounds really weird.
I don't remember the number, but
It was
like
over 50.
I do question like how accurate are those statistics, you know?
Mhm.
Like maybe they're just trying to do like a psychology thing of like, oh,
Well, my sampling of friends and family and
yeah,
people I know and my son's friends and all that kind
right.
of stuff, I'm starting to believe it.
Yeah, that's true. Do
Because
you
yeah,
hear the mower?
I can hear something. It sounds like a chain or a circular saw or something.
Fucking,
It's not really loud. It's not bad.
well, it's loud here.
Okay. Well, it's very warm here. We got 32 degrees Celsius, which is, I don't know, it's probably in the high 90s,
Yeah,
which for January is very hot.
June.
Or June, yeah, sorry. Not January. January is different. Well, I have this beautiful sea-doo in the driveway that I should be out in the lake playing with, but the darkness is effing with me and the battery's dead or something's wrong with, and it won't turn over. So that's kicking my head, but meanwhile, I don't feel like getting out. It's a full-time job to process these energies. You and I talked a little bit. Was that yesterday? Every day seems like a week now.
I don't fucking know. This June is going by so fast.
Well, it's fast, but if I look at it in linear time in my head, it's like, holy shit, 9 million things happened between yesterday morning and now.
I can't tell anymore.
Exactly. Well, I got to this point inside of me a day or two ago where my inner divine feminine nurtured me and treated me like a little baby and held me, and I got to see how I turned off all my receiving paths based on a bunch of stuff that happened all the way up until now. And it was just like, let's say you had a garden hose that was your receiving path and it kind of went from your mouth down into your heart. It was like it had been twisted and twisted and twisted and twisted, and it was just tortured off, and then it desiccated itself, and it was just like there was no fucking way anything was going to come through there. And I'm just like, where the frick did this come from? And then I got that nurturing, and this beautiful energy came in. It went in, and it was just like it was soaking into the soil of that receiving path, and it just went into like gel, and then it turned pink and it started to open, and the receiving path and it untangled itself. And ever since then, I've been just seeing love in this completely different way, and it's beautiful and it's light and fun, but it's just torturously painful in my body. It was just like having to open all those channels and soak up all that energy. It was just like torture. Like my arm was aching, and I don't know where the receiving path goes, but it was like all over in my upper body, hurting and sore back. And so I don't know what's changing there, but I know until that receiving path opened, I couldn't have a life. I couldn't have money. I couldn't have girlfriend, sexuality, all this kind of stuff. So, and then some stuff started to open up. I'm going to this beautiful workshop next weekend that came out of the blue that's all healing all this kind of stuff. So we'll see how that goes. And yeah, hopefully that's the opening of a whole bunch of stuff coming on. I don't know how many people watched the Lori Ladd video a couple days ago, but it was like, if you don't want to be here or you're not feeling this is your place anymore to watch this video. And she got into it and she says, just lay down and breathe. And then just keep saying, God, wow me. God, wow me. So that's been my mantra for the last couple of days, because this fucking ain't fun. I don't want to be here more often than not. And I'm not talking like pull the ejector level and leave a blood spot. I'm talking about, I can't see when that percentage of all the people around me are in such compliance with no facts to show that compliance really even means anything. And they don't even get an automatic out, or we're going to be all okay and nobody's going to have to wear a mask again or anything, because there's no guarantees being given. They're very purposely saying no. I just can't see a path from here to anything that I'm worthy of, because I won't walk in that. I won't walk in the laws or the places where the police can be. There's a big scandal going on. They limit the number of people to sit at a table in the restaurants. And there's a picture of all of our leaders in the province of Alberta on the top of their building, the legislature building, have a rum party with all the legislature people sitting on the patio, not even a foot apart. And it's
Yeah.
all over the news. And they're like, oh, we're higher than you and we don't give a shit. So
Yeah, doesn't matter.
what kind of leadership is that?
Yo. But you know, sometimes it just has to get to that nasty level, I guess. Do whatever it takes for people to wake up.
Well, the struggle I have in my brain, and I talked to you about this, it's a kind of the mind fuck. It's like, am I creating this because I've created this negative space inside my mind or been programmed this? And so is that me pushing out my reality? But I can consciously, some people come out and make these statements. It's like, oh, you're manifesting everything that's happening in your life. And I fucking disagree. This planet is mangled up. And when we're attached to our parents and our family and all that programming and all the shit that I've seen inside of myself, 3/4 of who I am, I did a live on it the other day, was not even me. It was programming from society, parents, my lineage, all these experiences I'd had that in a lot of cases I never even had a choice in. How my relationships worked out. Yeah, I was participating in them, but with a wound inside of me, that relationship's always going to go sideways until that thing is healed. And some of that wound wasn't even mine. It came from deeper up the lineage stuff. So to go around, I think it's the spiritual bypassing of the modern age to say that, yeah, everybody's manifesting, or all these people that are guru likes that are standing on the stage saying, oh, you can manifest. Here's the secret. Here's the, how many people watch The Secret and absolutely no fucking thing happened? Probably 80 or 90%, or some little thing happened. But if everybody's life was changing, we would have had them tons of multi-billionaires coming out. So if you start looking at reality, all this stuff has been twisted for so long until we really, really waken up and we start to see it. And with my receiving channel that I was saying was kind of turned off, could I even receive all the things that I wanted, all my dreams and all that kind of stuff, because I was made so unworthy by life and possibility. So when I hear people come and cheer me on and say, oh, I can help you learn to be divine and masculine and all this kind of stuff, and we're going to heal and whatever, the question I ask is, how's that going for you? How many $1 million are you sitting on right now? How many dream lovers do you have? How many, all those kind of things? And they're going to come up short every single fucking time, because it's really easy to prescribe it for someone else. But when you got other shit going on inside your system, in your subconscious and other things that's like hot wiring you to fail or to not be successful because you're not worthy in these other things, no person can guarantee you any of that. I've been in self-development. I've probably spent $100,000 on myself over the last 30 years and going to courses and workshops and travel and flights and all this kind of shit. And not one of those workshops made my manifesting open my sex life, helped me find more women. Yeah, it gave me a little bit of a key to it. But I'm fundamentally finding that opening of that channel and figuring out all the stuff underneath, looking at the codependency, looking at the lineage trauma, looking at all the stuff we've been talking about, you can't even start to live your dreams until you open up all that stuff.
Absolutely. Like, piggybacking off of what you said, like, yeah, it's good to have that information about The Secret or whatever, that thoughts can create things, but like, you have to look under the hood. You have to look at the dark. You have to clear that first, because you could say I'm a millionaire all day and think positive thoughts till you're blue in the face, but until you rewire that subconscious programming, that original root, like, it's not going to work. Like, you have to work with those subconscious, the root, the belief, and heal from that.
And I'll guarantee there's 90,000 subconscious landmines that are in there based on your parents programming, your church and your teacher programming to say that you're not worthy to get on this path and you're not worthy to be better than them.
Yeah.
And you can't lead because it's all been inserted in here, and you're like literally fucked before you even start on that thing. And then it further reinforces itself when it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
And you get into your 50s and you're like, holy fuck, nothing ever fucking works out. So I'm obviously not worthy because I tried. And then you get to this point where I'm standing right now, and you got to forgive and release every fucked up thing that's ever happened in your life,
Yep.
assuming you're starting fresh right now, because the fact that I found that choked off receiving line and all that kind of stuff in me basically made it impossible. So now you got to forgive all of it. And it's like, oh, wow, that was loving experiences, even though it was awful. And I got to put up with all that shit. And you're just sitting there going, what the fuck happened? Why do I have to do all this stuff? Well, that's awakening.
Yeah.
Untangling, coming and untangling all the shit that was done to you, that was said to you. If you think you're going to get a free fucking pass on it, you will eventually, once you get to the point and say, okay, I give up all these things, that's this heavy load on me that's not allowing me to go forward, because you can't go anywhere. You can't unwind every single piece of it and make sense of it. Eventually, you just have to forgive, cry your eyes out for hours and hours and hours. And then all of a sudden, there's this peace inside. And it's like, that was my experience to get here. That taught me so many millions of different things, but none of it means anything at this moment because now I'm a different person. I don't think you can be you and awaken.
No.
If I looked at myself 5 years ago and I said, I'm awakening from that, and it was just going to be like I levitate or whatever, it would be so cool to sit beside myself 5 or 10 years ago and have an interview with him right now. Can you imagine yourself?
No, I don't want to.
You're like, oh, well, why are you making those decisions? And why did you move to New York? And why did you do this? And you'll be like, kind of stripped naked of all this fluff that made us make choices that we didn't even know why.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then all of our mistakes and all the things that didn't go through or failed or whatever, we're now going to see in this new light, because it was teaching us, it was shoving us towards a future us.
Future us. Yeah, it was. I don't know.
Us.
Like, I feel like there is this path that we kind of carved out. Like, we have this end destination of our authentic self. And there's different ways of getting to the top of this mountain. Like, sometimes it's a dead end. Yeah. Sometimes like you take a left turn, but it seems to always just reroute itself.
Mm-hmm. And how many times do you run into that wall flat out thinking that it was a wide open space, and more often than not you hit, and then it made you sit on your ass, and then you realize there was a trail right up beside it that was a little steeper, but you were back on the path again.
Yeah.
So
like I think about that, like with choices that are presented to me. Like we can, I guess, like it's like I can like best relate it with relationships. Like, you know, I had this opportunity and I chose to be in this relationship, but I knew in the back of my head or my heart even like that it wasn't going to be the one, and that there is a plan. I don't know the plan, but I know this person isn't part of it. So like I could choose how I want to experience it, but I know that it's not the end.
That you had a little fun along the way, and yeah, you had a bunch of fights and screaming matches and some darkness or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Because that added
value.
Texture. So did you have a choice at all in the end other than those little micro
No.
Things? That's the hardest part.
Yeah.
So explain that, because I'll explain mine too, but
sure.
You get to this point of awakening and you realize you set a plan up all right from the beginning, and all these right people and all these right things showed up at some time or place, and you didn't have a flying chance of really what you wanted other than, oh, I'm going to do this the hard way instead.
Exactly. Let me learn an extra couple of lessons through heartbreak instead of just sticking with the heart plan, the mighty plan.
So that was actually your struggle rather than the whole experience, right?
I don't know, man.
Well, that's what's make it hard, because it's like, okay, I went off the path because I wanted
Yeah.
something, but
Right.
you already knew that you were supposed to go the other way.
Yes, 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 yes.
So you're like holding on to trees along the side of the path saying, fuck, I don't want to go that way. I want to try this. Oh,
Yes, yes, yes.
your
And
arms are sore.
but you're like, how much choice do I actually, as a human, actually have? Like, sure, like I for a small fraction, it can give me the illusion of it, but my soul has already mapped this shit out. I just don't know.
So is that control?
I don't know. Sometimes I talk shit to God, and I'm like, motherfucker, you are the most controlling person ever, or energy.
So, but is you trying to take control back from God instead of living the flow? Or
Yeah.
is it God being in control? But you started and you built the plan and you connected
I
all the
don't
people
know.
and you're God. So who's in control?
Know anymore.
Who fucked me up?
No, I don't know, but this shit is so wild. And like being in the position we are now, I think, we've made so many strides in the awakening that, like we're not even making those choices anymore. Like I can't even seek out a partner or go on the Hinge app because I already fucking know it's not gonna matter. Like there's
Not
already
the one. It's
something,
not time. Yep.
there's something at the end, and I just need to watch through the movie and be surprised and let God to wow me. I can construct these egoic plans, for this carnal pleasure, but like doesn't matter.
Well, I'm all for not making really strong connections so you can just have some fun along the way, and it
Yeah,
doesn't have to be torturously struggle all the way.
of course. No, but I know myself.
Yeah.
Like I know, like I'll seek out the type, and then the same story will regurgitate.
Yeah, but that's you doing your work in a
Right.
way as well, because you're cleaning up all that stuff. But if you had a community of people that had the same awareness and say we're preparing this vessel to be healed so that when that one or that thing that is already
Yeah.
coming shows up, that you'll be free enough to do it. And that's
Yeah.
part of what my polypole is of polyamory is I don't want to hurt somebody and settle down completely with somebody that doesn't feel completely right, but there's something there that could be playful and fun while I explore, because you don't want to hurt that person, because one day that other person's going to show up in your life and you're going to say, holy fuck, it's finally time, I've done my work or whatever. Or God could fuck with you and say, hey, you got another 5 years of twin flame trauma to go through to
Oh
clean
no.
you up. You've seen it, haven't you?
Oh yeah.
I know lots of people that supposedly know they're twin flames, but honestly, that's like a mind fuck in itself,
It
because
is.
so many people have no idea what that draw is, but they're reading all this shit and it seems like and sounds like, and they're hoping to get to their end
Yeah.
when it's really not true.
Yeah.
But I honestly don't think those kind of divine flames, I think there's only 144,000 people that are that really true divine flame. Everything else is soulmates.
Right. Karmic soulmates.
Absolutely. And it feels really strong, but the ones that are really truly divided and they're half and half, those are the 144, which are the ones that are seated across the planet that bring forth the change, right?
The good stuff.
But you hear so many people talking about it now. It's like twin flames. It's time to step into your power and join together for the transmutation of the planet. And it's like, well, then it creates this searching inside of you and you're just like fucking going nuts. Like, okay, well, I'm ready. Where are they going to come?
Yeah, I don't even dive into that, like the divine masculine counterpart, blah, or like,
honestly, no matter how many, I hate to say it, it sounds bad, but little girls that are out there, because it's mostly women that are coaching twin flames and all this kind of stuff, they keep saying that they're all joined together. I'm already with mine. I don't think any of them have really, really joined. There might be one or two key ones, but the majority of them haven't joined yet because the energy is not high enough. When they join, there'll be flashes of lights across the planet as they join in sexual union and pleasure and connection, because those energies have been towed apart for so long. It's kind of like bringing an atom back together,
right?
Like a nuclear explosion of love.
Yes. I agree with that. Actually,
I can see it in my mind when that woman, I meet her we come together and it's just like there's a flash of light that comes across the world, and it's just like a completion, not in a like I'm half empty or whatever. It's like, no, divinity has returned to divinity and shit's gonna happen.
Kind of like the Big Bang Theory, huh?
Well, can you imagine 72,000 of these big bangs going off all at once?
Oh yeah.
The planet and the reality and the vibration will not be able to stay low. There'll be so much light shone, all the darkness will just be smashed. And there's a plan for that. I honestly feel the plan is pushed out. Like divine has no idea of time, but the plan has somehow shifted out and it's linear time for us. So we're grinding our teeth here,
Right.
but something feels very off and I don't know who to talk about it. I go up into the meetings every night and shit happens, but they wipe my memory and I come back and I'm fucking human again. And someday I'll know. Yeah.
I guess going to the whole continuing on the romance thing.
Well, what do you need? What's there? What's the pull?
Well, let me tell you.
Please.
I had met this guy in April who's living in Brooklyn, but he was in LA, mutual friend. And I just had the funniest feeling about him. Like, it's not something I would go after. Like, if it was like a swipe situation, I would swipe left, forget it. But there was just this weird pull. Like, there's just something, like, I felt, I don't know anymore, but like, I was like, I'm supposed to know this person. Like, it was weird. And I had a psychic reading earlier in the year, a tarot reading, and she was describing this person, and this person she described like was very fitting. And so my little claws came out, and I'm like, him! But I think I pushed so much, but also because I don't give a fuck. Like, I'll be myself. I'll harass. Like, I don't want to say harass, but I'm not afraid to text someone if I want to text them. Be like, hey, this is happening. What's up? You know, like, hey. But I think I did it too much. And originally I was supposed to stay part-time at his place. And then like a few days ago, he texted me like, are you still coming to New York? When I don't remember the exact question because I deleted it. But are you coming back? Are you coming to New York when I stay? When I leave to Mexico? Because he's going to Mexico or something. And I was very confused by his question. Because I'm like, motherfucker, like I told you, like the exact dates. Like, what are you asking me this again for? And then I was like, is it cool if I do stay with you? And like, just the energy, like, just seemed off. I could have been projecting it, but it just seemed off. And so my spirit was kind of like, you know what? Fuck that. Like, I'm gonna find my own Airbnb and have my entire place to myself where I could do whatever the fuck I want and have these things instead of being in this weird situation. So that's what I did.
And you called him motherfucker?
In my head, yes, but not through texting, no.
Did that energy bolt come out of your finger and sting him in the ass?
No, it didn't. Okay. But I was just like, you know what? Fuck this. Like, let me.
Why did you have a pull, and then that simple question made you so strong?
Just the energy behind it. I'm just like, why are you asking me if you already know and we had already agreed to this?
Okay. So, okay, I'm really confused now because you started talking about a relationship and then you started talking about staying at some guy's place while he's gone, which has nothing to do with relationship.
Well, no, it's a relationship because I had a reading earlier in the year that was like romantic related, and it was describing this person as the person.
If I remember the guy we talked about and you didn't have any romantic towards him or whatever, so where's
it grew?
Okay, so was there any romantic? Did you connect with him at that way, or did he feel it and then you didn't announce it? So there's some weird confusion going on.
I just have I had a funny feeling about him. I still have the feeling, but I kind of surrendered it to like not trying to control it.
Did you ever express it to him?
No.
Okay, who's the one that's fucked herself? Excuse me.
It's too soon. Like
who's to decide?
My spirit.
Yeah, Yeah, I don't think that's the spirit.
I'm not gonna say shit. Like that's too insane.
No, but what would have been fun and playful for the pixie?
I was being fun and playful by texting him and harassing him. That was fun.
Was it sexual? Was it playful? Was
No,
it
it was playful. It was not sexual at all.
okay? But I guess I'm confused what relationship means to you then.
I don't know. Okay, I just saw this person and I'm like, I think he's the one.
Okay, so why not play there?
I was trying to. I was like, hey, let me stay at your house. I met his dad. He introduced me to his own dad. Who does that?
You confuse the hell out of me right now. It's like he's the one. I want to be sexual, and then there's all this hotness inside, but instead you fuck with him.
I didn't fuck with him.
Well, you said you played with him.
No, no, I was playful. Like I would send him like messages like, hey, like look at this, look at that, like, you know.
Did you honor what was in your heart? Did you tell him what was there? He felt it.
Too soon.
For you. And what made you make it too soon? What's the fear? Sorry, we're in a counseling session now, but
we're always
you're okay
in a
with
counseling session.
So what scared you about that?
Because in the past I would always jump.
Okay, well you instead kind of half cannonballed in the air and started, and then you pulled in and hit him right in the head. And he's like, oh, what?
Yeah.
Is this love?
Pretty much. That's what happened.
Okay. So it's okay.
Yeah.
Were you bad?
Oh.
You had awareness?
Always.
So extend some feelers from your heart when we're off and just start to feel into what's there. And okay. I'll guarantee there's some confusion because what you told me was a passive aggressive way of trying to see if there's deeper connection. Yes. And you weren't engaging and it hurt him.
He wasn't engaging. I was engaging.
Yeah, but you're engaging with this. I'm protecting the shit out of my heart until I really understand this, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Make an invitation. I'd really like to get to know you better. I feel there's something underneath. Would you like to explore that? How would that feel? Don't be like all sexual and jump on him and then he's guilty or shameful afterwards. Just say, I feel something here and I've been scared for a little bit and I'd really like to explore it. Would you like to talk? That I think would be a can opener because men, from my experience, men are expected to read your energy and know exactly what you want, which you've basically said you don't know what the fuck you want. So how was there any energy to read?
I don't know.
It's okay.
I'm confused.
It's okay. But a pixie energy, a light, playful energy would be go and dance and play and maybe even be sexual or whatever with just clear communications on attachments or expectations so that playful can always be there and have a sandbox and all that kind of stuff. And would you even want to engage with a guy until you found those compatibility and all those levels? Because there's a trying out period of people.
That's true.
And if you don't go there and you keep holding back and hoping the trying out period is going to be found by meeting his dad and his grandma and all this life shit, which none of it makes any sense or whatever. It's the deep, intimate conversations, the sexuality that follows, the passionate sex, the are you there for me when my car breaks down and building trust and honesty and faith is the stuff that really defines a relationship and a deep connection, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I just think I got friend zoned.
I didn't know that could happen for women, but okay.
It does happen.
It happens to us all the time.
It does happen.
Because of what, though? And I got to take some responsibility here too. Maybe I'm too giving of my heart and too open from the beginning and all this kind of stuff. And that can scare people and you'll get friend zoned because they're curious, but they don't want to hurt you.
Exactly.
But what you just described and anybody that's listening can wade in here and keep you honest. But what you just described was you didn't know what the fuck you wanted, and you were disappointed that you didn't engage more
Yes.
when you weren't really clear about what you wanted.
Yeah, that's accurate.
It's okay. That's what we're taught from fucking birth, is ask people for what you don't want or what you do want by not asking directly, because that might give them too much of a clue. Or you might be exposed in that moment because they may not want the same thing. And then you're hurt because I was too direct.
Right.
But how long does the not direct last? It lasts for 6 months or a year, or friend zone can go on for 10, and you're in fucking agony all the time when all you had to say was, I'm feeling very sexual towards you and I'd really like to explore that more, but I don't know how to even start asking. Is that something that's alive for you?
That is actually really good. Yeah.
Well, then it's like, oh, well, I felt it, but you kind of pushed me away. And then all of a sudden you get a reflection of what you sent and what he felt. And then you can start to tune into each other's frequency and say, oh, okay, this is what I was reading. And that angry made me because he was frustrated at me back, but you thought you were being clear, but you weren't really clear, and he was really confused, and everybody was fucked before you even started. Something beautiful had little embers underneath.
Yeah.
You could feel them already. He could feel them, but nobody spoke about them.
That's true.
We danced and we played and we kind of pretended about that little elephant in the middle of the room there. And everybody got tired after a while that nobody could address it. So ask that question.
What do you want?
Yeah. What's the worst that could happen? And say, hey, I found somebody else or whatever. And damn good that you'd find that out right away, because then you're not wasting your time and then getting disappointed later.
I also masturbated to my ex, and I haven't done that in a very long time.
Beautiful. And how did it make you feel?
I didn't care. I was like, okay.
If it made you feel good, maybe it released the energy, maybe it completed the connection or whatever. Beautiful. Well, that's a person that you had sex with, the person that you had all this energy shared with, and it was a connection level that you had that you're longing for.
Yes.
And you can still have. The only thing I suggest is you use it to clean up the energy, because you've also said that you don't want that person's energy in your life again, and just complete it. So whatever wasn't completed before, use that orgasmic energy to just close it off and say thank you and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Well, would you need your ex's energy in your life if you could open your life enough to let someone else's sexual energy in to play with you?
Yeah.
It's so sad. Those are the only things. That's where the one place that I think that things like porn and stuff like that is good, because you can shift that energy. I believe there's an energy exchange with the person on the screen as much as with your ex or whatever, so you got to be really clean upping of that energy. But how did it make you feel afterwards, right? Your body was relaxed and you could go back to places where you were stimulated and it felt good and you felt like a queen or worshipped or whatever. So is there any shame in it?
No.
So what triggered you into feeling that energy, just as a question?
I had a dream
about your ex or something else? And
him,
then
yeah, it was like we were embraced and it felt really nice, because I've been, obviously celibate and alone. Like, I'm living with my parents and all of this other stuff.
It can't be much of a sexual being there.
Doing my work. And so to have that dream, just to even have like another body next to you, I was like, whoa, I forgot.
Well, can you even be sexually expressive? Do you have to put the duct tape over your mouth before you go and give yourself pleasure? Because now you're in somebody else's home where you might be very expressive.
Right. Oh, yeah. Silence. But so I had the dream, and then I thought about the dream, and then I was like, this is interesting material. Let me use this material.
So did you feel you're still connected to him in some way? Well, that sexual energy had to come from somewhere.
Maybe, yeah.
Was it repressed underneath, or like you said, there was darkness in that relationship, but was there pleasure and was there connection and all that kind of stuff? So you were kind of divided. There was two parts of you
Yes.
in that. Like, not everybody can be all fucking healed and not have any darkness or old pulls from their parents and stuff in them, but there's also a yearning part of that other person that's
Yeah.
trying to still connect, and you did connect, but the other stuff weighed him down,
Yes.
it sounds like, so that wasn't fully there.
Right.
So you got a sample of what's possible. Probably not all sexuality was that divine and expressive and all that kind of stuff. It got pulled all the time or whatever. So you're going back to that conscious part of yourself that was free to be sexual and free to have fun and free to give herself pleasure. So now it's time to get back into that for you.
Yes. And to just end it with just the statement I made before we got on here is like, I'm really excited to be single and, young and like in the process of healing. I'm not chasing the next thing to replace the unexamined traumas or darkness or whatever. So I'm really excited for that.
Mm-hmm. And how much of being a healed and divine Anya is your sexuality?
All of it.
Well, so to be celibate and to be worried about the men you're attracting in, or worried about going down that path of exploring, because you can't be your full expressive, creative, artistic self without some mad, passionate sexuality mixed in there.
Some little things along the way.
It's not just sexuality, it's depth and connection and intimacy and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But there's this whole range that becomes sexuality, right? It's being taken and ravaged, and then it's to being depth, and a woman, depending on her cycle and all these other kinds of things, can be all those different things over the course of a month.
Yeah.
Or one day it's spiritual and divine and let's go up to God and dance around all day, and then it's just like, leave me just fucked wide open on the bed and completely open, which are all ranges of sexuality for a woman. Or take full control and leave the man feeling that, or make him feel more feminine and whatever. Those are all ranges. But how many people that are even married are going through those ranges, exploring those ranges? It's like, okay, you can go on top today, honey, and let's see how that feels or something. And you're just like, okay, 5 minutes later, we're done. And then it's go get the laundry and go have groceries. There's no nurturing. There's no relaxing or having the build up beforehand, like having a bath and a shower and clean everybody up and rub the massage oil in and get all the juices flowing, and then see what's different. But you seem to me like a person that wants to have the full experience, and you're wanting to find somebody that can feel that depth with you. And it's not about, okay, let's prove my macho pride here and make you happy while I'm getting mine or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Which often it isn't even the woman, or the women fake it and lie to the man, and he doesn't even know if you did or didn't, because you just want it to be over or whatever.
Yes. You're like, fuck, let's just get this over with. Let me just vocalize myself.
And women have got really good at it. Actually, it's funny. You can see it in porn. You can't you can't fake some of the genital pulsing and that kind of stuff, or somebody that's just like frantic in an orgasm. You can't fake, but half the time they're making all this noise, and it's just like, did she just say that out of her voice? It's like everything's dry and we're not seeing anything happening or whatever. But somebody that just like loses conscious control of their body after sexuality, there's a difference. And then the men start to learn, and they have to calibrate that kind of stuff, because I'd say more than half of porn, it's all faked.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Easily, maybe even
Production.
3/4.
Absolutely.
But there's a lot of really good energetic porn, and there's like med arts and sex arts and Hager and all this kind of stuff, where you can actually watch the process and the projection of sensuality and building. And once you see that, then you can see how a man's body reacts, how a woman's body reacts, and how the build happens, even just to see the yoni open after, and how it changes color and all this kind of stuff. Nobody knows any of those things. Nobody teaches those things. Nobody tells the man that this is what you should be aware of.
Mm-hmm.
And we all need to have that. We all need to have somebody that's meeting us at that deep level so that we know what that is and we can feel really deeply loved, and we know we read the energy right, and now we can read their body, and then that helps us with all our other sexual partners, because everything else is just fake and everybody's just pretending or hoping or upset that the other person didn't even guide them to say, here's how to make me pleasure, or it
Yeah.
would feel good if you moved over here or touch this instead or whatever. It's all about just trying to make them happy so that you can have your happy afterwards. It's like, what the fuck? But nobody ever communicated about it.
No.
Just seems so much of this world lied. So what are you doing to consciously draw that in for you? Because there's something that needed to be protected in that interaction. You already had a clue that guy, there was something more, and you only played at the very superficial level.
Yes.
So what's scared?
I just don't want to be. I just don't want to scare the other person away.
But you indirectly did that already, you feel. Whoops. It's okay. Is that self-sabotage?
Yes.
Why?
I don't know.
Is there anything playful, fun, pixie-like about that? Or is that the old Anya?
Old.
Okay. So who can change that? Okay. So what would you think would be the next step with this guy to see if you can salvage whatever's left? In one text, how could you get him back interested and make him really curious? Because that's the feminine. Here's something really beautiful.
I don't know.
Well, we talked about some of it.
I know, being super honest.
Send a text and say, I don't know what happened. I think we're off on the wrong foot or whatever. And I was playing pretty cold. I feel something inside. I don't know. Maybe you feel something too. It's pretty deep. Would you like to explore it?
I would, well, because I am still staying for one night because I have only one gap. Mm-hmm. But like I would say, like I feel like I'm supposed to know you. I don't know if our texts, got mangled up or whatever, if I threw you off.
Do you feel sexual about him at all?
I don't know yet.
Okay. So what did Anya just say she needs in her life to be fully her?
All of the intimacy and sexuality and depth.
Okay. And who's the only one that can be hurt by it not working out? And you played small.
I did play small.
Are you going to ever get laid being small like that? Or are you going to have to go to Tinder and swipe a few times and get somebody that's kind of hollow that you didn't get a reading that said you might have a connection with? And I'm not trying to pressure into it.
No, this is so good.
Why are you unfucking yourself?
I don't know.
You're trying to protect someone. Is it your inner child? Is it him from being hurt? Do you just play with guys' hearts and all this kind of stuff? It doesn't sound like it, but this is playing with a guy's heart because there's a pull of your genitals. He can feel it, turns them on. He's all excited and knows that you're really needing something right now and you're not engaging in any way, shape, or form. So it makes it a lie from you.
Yeah.
You're lying to yourself and you're lying to him and you're protecting someone and it's actually hurting both of you.
It is.
Okay, so fuck the fuck up. Excuse my French. And just throw him something beautiful and sexual and teasy and playful and say, just text him and say, holy fuck, I just masturbated to you or something like that.
No!
You might be surprised. There was an energy when we last met that I felt, and it's kind of been tingling inside, and I'd like to explore it, but do you feel it too? That's a little less.
I just want to do something along the lines of just like, I feel like I'm supposed to know you, and I just have this strange feeling about you. What are you feeling?
Is that being honest in what you really need?
I don't know.
It's too safe.
You're right.
You've lost them already, is eventually what you've told me.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know, but that's why I just stepped away and surrendered.
There's going to be 100 other guys that are going to fit that if he does not engage.
Exactly. That's why
So
I got
engage
my own...
from what you want. Don't give a fuck about what he's going to think or worry about or whatever, because that energy was there.
That's
and you
true.
know it. Was it a lie? So why be less than what you want or what you feel?
That's true.
You can be a powerful sexual woman and draw men in and get exactly what your needs are met. But I think it's only going to feel right for you if it's in honesty, directness of wanting for you, not giving a fuck what his needs are and meeting his needs first, finding out what Anya's needs are. And it's like, I really need this right now and I want to feel met. And then he'll either engage or he'll not. But you've then made an energetic choice for the universe. And then you're going to start getting the guys that are going to engage at that level.
Yes.
Maybe that's what the tingle was, is just to get you out of your fucking cocoon and say, my body wants and I need and I desire men that can meet me at this level without attachment and clingy and all this kind of stuff, because something's crying out for ready.
Yes.
Don't play small or you'll only get small.
I know. That's true.
So how big are you right now? A lot smaller than you could be.
Miniature King Kong.
And nobody's going to take you serious until your growl is, or your bite is bigger than your growl.
Yes. This is true.
Just draw him in. I'm not saying play with him or tease him or whatever, but you already had the tingle, you had the arousal, the feeling, and all that kind of stuff. And it's all true. If you'd let him in, would you have been masturbating to him instead of your ex? Because there's a question, right? You didn't have any other energy to go with that was new and fresh because you sent it away.
That's right.
There'll always be somebody else, as long as you're coming from integrity. And for you, you're always going to be pure. They're always going to remember you for that. You may scare the fuck out of them, scare them away that they don't want that same thing because you got so much intensity. But that guy's going to come around again in another 2 or 3 years when he's ready. And it was like, fuck, there's that pull and I really wanted it, but she asked direct and it scared the shit out of me or whatever. And I'm not used to women that are like that, or I'm not worthy. So right now, then somebody will come that meets you at that level. And then in maybe a year or two, he'll meet you at the bar in New York and it'll be like, fuck, that was really intense. And I'm sorry I couldn't engage right then, but I'm ready. And you're going to be like, oh, fuck. He'll take you right then and there. And you'll be like, holy fuck, this has been simmering for a while. But you created it.
That's true.
Because it was your honesty. Is there anything bad about being sensual and sexual and desirous?
Whew. No, there isn't.
Smolder.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. And that goes for any woman that's like, I want to be met. I will tell you right now, if I was that guy, I'm waiting for an invitation. Just waiting for an invitation. I felt the energy. You kind of hemmed and hawed, and I'm waiting for an invitation for more because I felt the pull of your body. I felt the pull of your energy, and it's just permission. It's like, okay, I feel something here. Pursue me. And say it's okay, because he's not sure if he's in the friend zone or he's in some hot.
I asked if I could stay at his house. It doesn't get any more obvious to someone if a girl or woman is saying, hey, can I stay with you?
Nope. You want to know how many women will use men like that? And if there's no sexual energy and there's no whatever, you want to know how many men have had women stay and they give up their bed and they're sleeping on the couch and you're having all this and they're in their dreams thinking all that stuff without an invitation. None of it means nothing. because majority of the women in the world would want men to honor them in that way. They'd secretly want him to come into the room, but half the other ones are like, oh, that's a rape story waiting to happen. And so we as men are sitting there saying, does she want it or not? And I get no clear indicators from you. You'll be sleeping in the bed by yourself all night long. He'll be frustrated in the morning. You won't understand why the energy, and it'll probably be done. Would you have the courage to be able to stand up and walk out naked into the living room and say, come on, I've been waiting for you?
No.
Couldn't, because it's an expectation to the man. But if I can't read your energy, you're unsafe until either you've made an invitation to me or I trust you.
Mm-hmm.
Women have a huge part in all of this. We can't read your mind when you're playing the fence and not sure what you want. Because in 2 seconds, you can call that a rape when that energy is there versus I want you. And then it's instant permission. Come on in. You'll have lovemaking that will blow your doors off, or you can be kind of in the middle, hoping that he's going to guess what you really want when you didn't even want it and your energy isn't clear enough about it. And then you get to make the choice at the end and say, I raped you or something. Because that's the way it'll go. It's like your ego will get in your mind and you'll be like, this loving attention happened to you. You want to know how scary it is for a man? I've had experiences where they didn't like what they did the next day and they'll change the truth. It's like, I was sitting there and it was like, not this. And it was like, you asked me and I said yes, and we did it. And now all of a sudden you're not okay with it. It's like, what's going on? So if you want the maximum to happen, give that invitation. Honor you. Don't sit on the fence and expect him to make it. And then whether he does it right or not is whether I feel I can move forward. Make the invitation and say, fuck, I want this. Let's try it. Let's see what happens. And once you're fully committed, it's going to be 9,000% better. He's going to read your energy way better because you're committed. It's not the fairy tale. That's what fucks us all up. It's
That's
like,
true.
Prince Charming's not going to come and put this shoe on your foot and then you're going to live happily ever after. Well, somebody had to have sex in there somewhere at the end. So I'm not blaming. I'm just saying, look at the tentativeness of the energy that you're putting out and you're getting exactly what you expected and you're playing safe.
Yes, you are right.
And can you also see that playing safe is where the rape energy comes from, like the teased feel and all this kind of stuff when there's not a surety of what's wanted. And then the man will proceed because he doesn't know what's wanted, or he may proceed from his lack because that's happened on 16 dates before and there was never really a clear invitation. I'm just saying from the woman, if there's a question or a feeling that there's something more, give an invitation. Or start the conversation to depth. It's like, this is really scary for me. I've been raped before or something, but I'd really like to explore this. Can you ask permission each time I go through? I'm giving you permission to have sex with me, but before you touch me, just say, hey, can I touch you? Hey, does this feel safe? Can I say no at any time? Build up some little roadblocks along the way to build trust before it's full on intercourse and all this kind of stuff. And then you're going to build that trust just in the acts to get to the point of deeper intimacy. Does that make sense? It feels really awkward and it's not the Cinderella story, but by the end of that, you're going to know it's like he's about to have penetration and you say no, or stop for a minute. I'm scared. And if he can pull back from that and can sit with you and listen and all that kind of stuff, is that a guy that you can trust from that point onwards? And all along the way, it's like, hey, I'm going to take my shirt off or whatever. Let's be really slow and gentle here. Let's do this. And then each time it's like, can we breathe for a minute? I'm feeling really nervous. That in the whole progression, you don't even have to get to the point of intercourse and you're already proving that there's trust and that man's going to honor you and he's going to want you. And if you're really clear and direct about what you want, it's more likely you're going to get to a place and then you're going to build this trust with this person. And then from then on, you're going to always trust that person. But was it from the dating? Was it finding out about his grandmother and all this kind of stuff? Whether or not you're building trust of yeses and nos, we're not. So in that moment, see how he receives it. It's like, talk to him sexual. And then if it's like, oh, I want to fuck you, baby, or whatever, it's like way too advanced to the end. You know, the energy is not mature enough, and that's not what you want. But if it's like, oh, I've been feeling the same, how would you like to proceed? And what would you like to talk about? And then it's soft. And then it's like, okay, here we're learning to up level slowly. And I'm driving the boat a little bit, but at least he knows where he stands all the way along.
That's true. Honest.
And he's gonna stay with you. He's not, that's what the friend zone is all about, trying to build trust by going through all these depths of intimacy and conversations to see if you're honorable. Like if I hear about all your dates from all your boyfriends or whatever, I'm gonna know how you see men and how you proceed in all these situations. That's what the friend zone gets you, so that you can build trust enough with that person that one day you might let the door open.
Right.
How fucked up is that?
Very.
Where all you need is just a conscious container and say, I'd be willing to explore sexuality with you, but I have some feelings and hurts and wounds and stuff. Can we talk about it? And how would we get there? What are your wounds? And if they can gauge at that level, holy fuck, that's a person that's going to be a keeper. You're at a conscious enough level now that you're going to be able to read all those things, and you're going to be able to advance it. And it's sex for you is not jump on and let's be finished in 5 minutes. Sex is a negotiation and a dance and a play and touch and sensuality. That's what every woman wants. That's what everyone needs or desires as a woman. Men want a woman that's nurturing and honoring, and they can trust, and they have some integrity, so that we're not having to guess what they want or what they need. And you're going to have to live without the Cinderella story until I get trained at what your energy is. And then I can make you fly. But can you go to heaven and above in your sexuality and orgasm and leave the planet without feeling safe that that guy's going to grab your ankles and hold you down while you're trying to get too far away so you're not scared? No, that's trust. And that only comes through exploring and going deeper each time.
That's true. Oof.
Sorry, I went in deep on that, but
good.
It's a dance of both women and men. And if everybody watches from when Anya started talking about her relationships, many women are in that place of indecision. And it's like, how can I explore that without getting to know him better? But that play and all that kind of stuff, he was only down for a little while. So there's only a short chance to connect. And then it's all over text, which isn't energetically the same.
Yeah. And he
now
called
he's
me
confused.
homie.
What's that?
He called me homie.
Cool.
That's not cool.
Yeah, but does that mean something bad, or does that, what's it mean to you? Like you're one of the gang sisters or what?
It means friend zone.
You can change that in a minute.
That's true.
You played and you weren't sure about what you wanted, and he doesn't fuck around with himself, so he put you in the friend zone because that was where you binge yourself.
That's true.
So come on, really sexual.
Okay.
Come on, really sexual. Find some comment that just pins at sexual. It's not like direct. It's like F me or whatever. It's like, I feel really turned on when I think about you sometimes. How do you feel about that? And then it's like, whoa, what's going on here? And then the smolder comes out, and then all of a sudden the energy, and just go in your heart and let the sexual vibes start to flow. Don't process it with your head, process it with your heart.
I think it's because I'm used to guys making it clear that they're interested in me. Mm-hmm. And, do the courting of texting me.
Courting is fucked.
It is. But at least I know that they're interested in me, and then I can relay that back, like, hey, I'm interested in you too. Let's see how this goes.
Also, you don't get hurt and don't really put too much out there, so your heart's going to be hurt. Your heart needs to be smashed open over and fucking over again, and not giving a flying fuck until you engage by opening your heart, and then somebody really heart-centered shows up and you're like, holy fuck, I'm all in.
Yeah. Because
you're this much in, right?
Yeah.
All the time, just to be safe.
Yeah.
Who wins? Your grandma.
Grandma.
that's the sessions that are teaching you. It's like, oh, don't be too direct with the guy, or he'll want you, or you'll get abused, or whatever. That's the old energy.
Yeah.
Creative, artistic, passionate Anya wants what? Hi, how are you? How are you feeling today? Fuck, I need to be fucked. I'm really, really, really needing some passion in my life right now. And it's going to catapult my artwork and catapult my life and change everything. Because that's underneath. That's the monster. That's the fullest extension of possibility. Find the middle spot.
Yeah, that's true. Or just find a
The
cute
monster's going to
stranger.
get angry, and then you're going to be let down, and you're going to shrink even smaller, and your sexuality will turn off. And I think that's women in their 50s and 60s where they've just finally got fed up. All that sexuality turns off, and all that lovey passion, and they're just angry.
Yeah.
And then it never shows up, or it's really hurtful towards the man or whatever. All because we were trying to protect the other person. We never spoke of what we needed. And then we tried to protect ourselves. Remember how we talked the other day about love is protection and love is control and love is whatever? You want to understand he loves you first before you admit you love him, so that you don't get hurt. What the fuck? What the fuck? You'll die trying that. Because guys nowadays don't say love as quickly, or they want the same from women, and it's just this fucked up kind of thing. If we could say, instead of love, say, I'm sexually attracted to you, I'm sexually aroused to you, I feel a pull to you. And then after we explore all that kind of stuff, then we start talking about what love feels like and that kind of stuff. Because what? First sexuality doesn't work out. It's all clunky and not enough fire hose and all this kind of shit. And then you're like, okay, I'm glad I didn't let him into my heart. So now we're safe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, first sexuality is always fucked up. Unless it's passionate and hot or whatever, and you let yourself go and it's a one night stand thing. That's the times when you just let everything go and you don't give a shit. But if you're trying to prove yourself and be nice and whatever, that's the fucked up stuff with the old sexuality that just, okay, that wasn't worth it. I'd say you better commit to at least 3 times and be in there for the pleasure for yourself first. And after those 3 and it didn't work out, then maybe not.
Yeah.
And I don't care who wants to tell you that it's not about sexuality and it's all about compatibility, and you want to sit in a room and you're 60 years old and you don't want to have sex with your wife anymore because that you're just past that. Like, where's the connection? Where's the pleasure? You're now just camping with each other in the same house. I just can't see the world sexuality, because that's fucked up. Where did you win in there? Where was your choice in there? Where was anything? It's one thing if your partner doesn't want it. And then when you're in a marriage and your partner doesn't want it, it's either a symptom of you made a mistake in choosing that person, or there's some unresolved trauma or issue that's not being discussed. Because we're social beings. We need to be intimate. We need to be touched. We need to feel pleasure. And our orgasm gives us healthy doses of antidepressants and makes us feel happy in this world. Do you think human beings can ever be really happy without healthy sexuality and regular sexuality in their life?
No.
So people that are 1 year between their sexual encounters and it's all clunky and angry, are they going to be an angry person every day of their life?
That's kind of how our world is, huh?
So think twice before you hold back, because you'll regret it later.
That's true.
You'll be in your 60s and all wrinkled and boobs hanging down to the floor, and you're saying, oh, I should have done him back then or done something more. And you'll have this whole laundry list of things that were there, but you're too scared to look at them.
I'll say something. And I'm going to be fabulous. I'm going to have my hair done. I'll have some lipstick and a cute outfit.
Well, when you meet him, but set it up beforehand. When you get out there and you're that day going to his house, that's exactly how you want to look. You want to all look sexy and hot, and you want to leave the invitation out there. It's like, I dressed up for you.
No, I dressed up for myself.
No, you dressed up for yourself. So he would read the invitation and he'd want to tear those clothes off and do exactly what you wanted.
But I guess I just did a horrible job explaining this story.
It's not horrible, but you're holding back
Yeah.
and you're frustrated that it didn't proceed, and you got exactly what you expected because you weren't clear about what you wanted. Because
Very
underneath you
true.
said, I wanted a relationship.
Very true.
And you wanted this opportunity to go to his house and have him ravage you without ever telling him that you wanted to be ravaged. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. So ask him.
Yes. Okay, I will.
Do you think a man can feel safe to ravage a woman
No.
based on just your energy? He's got to see it in your words. He's got to see it in your invitation. He's got to see it in your nice dress and all that kind of stuff. And then it's the invitation. And the safest invitation is going to be, I want you. If you walk to his door and you're dressed up all nice and no words came out of your mouth, the invitation is going to be received differently than it's like, fuck, I'm horny. You walk to the door and you're like a present ready to be unwrapped. And that invitation is like, okay, the energy I was feeling is real and I'm going to proceed.
Let me ask you this.
Mhm.
Sometimes, yeah, that's cool. But sometimes, I feel like it's good to not jump into the ravaging with someone you really like and just take your time instead of being sexual off the bat.
Why? What are you trying to prove? You want it to be special. You want it to be deep. You want him to respect you. You want him. Those are all things that have been unsaid.
Yeah, like I don't want to be looked at like, oh, well, she was easy.
No, that's why you start the conversation now. And you build the conversation over the weeks or months until you next see him or whatever. And then it's like, wow, we created a connection. Because you want the connection. You want the depth. You want the intimacy. And that should happen on the phone before or whatever, not the night you show up at his place and you only got 14 or 20 hours or whatever to see each other.
Right.
Because you held off too long. All those things unsaid just make you unhappy, and he feels them and he doesn't know how. Are you the stronger one? You're the more direct one or whatever. He doesn't know how to do that because no woman has ever given him the example to do that, or men's group said, women, this is what women really want.
Yeah.
But how does it feel in your body? You feel it in your yoni, you feel it in your power. It's a visceralness to be able to speak about it and be direct, but you want to be playful and airy and hard to get and all these things that the universe or collective has taught you, but none of them make them stronger. It's just a waste of time for depth and communication. Because hard to get is that any communication at all? It's like, I love you, I hate you, I love you, I hate you. And then he's chasing and he's getting more and more anxious and angry at that. And then I honestly feel that leads to more rape situations because the energy is so confused. Would you stick around for anybody? It's just a puppy chasing you, and then eventually he humps your leg and you're unhappy about it, right? That's how we feel as men sometimes when the energy gets to that point, because we don't know. It's like we can feel the energy, we can feel your body, we can feel your arousal. I can guarantee that. I've had women lie to my face when they feel that arousal. They might be like dripping as a person and they'll say, no, I'm not interested, because they want to see how much I'm going to chase. They want to see how much I'm going to invest deeper or how I'm going to step into my full masculine so that you feel really safe or whatever. Fucking say it. Say you're not feeling masculine enough. I'm not feeling safe. And it's like, okay, what would you like to hear? Do you want to go to that level? Is this something that we're engaging in? Be honest with me and be truthful, and we'll see. But all I ask is if I'm missing the base, or I'm not getting you there, or I'm a little off, I'm learning at the same time. I'm trying to open at the same time. Just say, oh, that felt a little too direct. And because I may be coming from my lack a little bit. I was on this dating course a week or so ago, and it's like, men, you got to stand in your smoldering masculine, and you can't assume anything about sex. And even if you have lack, you got to put that away, because that's what a woman feels. The first thing is your lack, and then they hate you for it. And it's like, okay, I understand that, because that comes, But if the woman's feeling something and I'm judged immediately by the fact that I haven't had sex for a year and a half or whatever it is, and I have some needs, am I meant to turn my needs off? Or is it just like, let's have a conversation? It's like, you're feeling a little needy right now. I don't want to rush into sex, and I'd love to have a conversation because I'm feeling something towards you. And it's like, yeah, well, I'm sorry. I tried to date 15 women in the last 6 months and they always turned off. Well, that woman would say, oh, well, it was all my fault because I'd been sitting in this programmed reality of lack. I'd say most men are in that, and women need to have a little bit of understanding of that going on and just have a conversation with us. And say, I can't meet that Cinderella story. I can't be my full divine masculine if I haven't healed some of my mother wounds, and I'm expected to fix my mother wounds in a men's group with a bunch of other men. No, it doesn't work that way. I need a little bit of nurturing. I told you before, it's like I wanted to sit in a woman's with my head in her lap for a little bit and have her nurture me and build that little bit of a trust. And fuck, the next time we come together after I've been nurtured and I've felt that my wounds are real and recognized, it's not going to come up again, because now I've been witnessed and I feel safe, and now I can serve. There's not many men that are ready to serve women that have hurt over and over and over again by not being real in their energy and not being truthful about what they want and all that kind of stuff. That's further pushing on our mother wounds, which a lot of most men have. And I'm not blaming women. I'm just saying, look at how this societal bullshit just keeps propagating, women being unhappy, men being in lack, and everybody lost.
Yeah.
And all there needed to be was a conscious space of discussion and say, hey, I've got these things inside of me, and being conscious about them. And then the woman saying the same thing. I've got some daddy issues and I need somebody to exert a little control, or I want you to be direct with me and feel safe and that kind of stuff. And then shit can start to happen. And then it's like, you've said, here's what I need, or let me lead and say, okay, little girl, you're going to start listening to me or whatever. Some girls, that's just a massive turn on or whatever, because the daddy wound's there.
Yeah.
Others just want to be direct and honest and feel the energy. It's like, yeah, I'm in lack and I'm willing to do whatever we need to get to where you feel safe first, so that then my needs can be met. And now I'm being direct and it's in the light rather than this conspicuous little, I need it before we're done here kind of thing. At least if there's that understanding and that respect of and owning it for both sides, we'd get out of this in a massively short amount of time.
You've inspired me, as you always do.
Well, and we're way over time, as you we got deep, right?
Very.
I don't want to fix women or change women. I'm fucked up. You're fucked up. We're all fucked up. It's all about directness of communication, asking for what we want, acknowledging that we got lack and wounds. Women have sex lack wounds just as much. You know, you just said, I've been celibate for all this time and I'm sure glad I'm single and pure in myself, but you still need that sexuality to feel intimate and comfortable and loving to another person, not to fill you anymore, but now from fulfilling this pleasure in your body, this dance that you can have, this opening. And you're longing for that in a little bit, aren't you?
Yeah.
Every woman wants it. It's the end of the Cinderella story. They put the slipper on and they go home and everybody gets effed wide open, right? Isn't that the dream? That it's all perfect and whatever?
It sure is.
Well, maybe Prince Charming is a hermaphrodite.
Oh, dear.
Well, would that break the Cinderella story?
Absolutely, it would.
If Cinderella was a lesbian, it's like, I'm not doing nothing with that.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Look at how heteronormative all of our societal dreams are. So, but we are all allowed those things. And as soon as we let go of the shame and guilt and we start communicating directly.
Yeah, with our voice.
Well,
I just want to close out by saying, though, I do like, I was just reading the signs and I was like, you know what? I'm going to get my own place and be a big girl instead of like
beautiful
trying to Oh, like protect me, like let me stay.
Well, just go underneath and look at all the energy and him being in and out of the place at the same time, and how much
Yeah.
rigmarole that would be if you weren't honest about what you wanted,
Exactly.
which would make it feel really uncomfortable.
It was, yeah, that's exactly the word I had in mind. I was like, it's just gonna be fucking uncomfortable. Like, I'm an
But if you
introvert.
talk up front and ask for what you want,
Exactly.
you could be staying in his place for 20 days and getting effed wide open every day, because now you've met somebody, and you're not sitting alone in your little VRBO pining. You're now been honest and found that you could be in this guy's place. But it's scary, because what if it fucks up halfway through or whatever, and then I don't have a place to run to or whatever? So those are the dances inside.
Well, now I could have this conversation, have one night to stay there, and then have my own place, and I could meet other people.
Yeah, you could. But is that what you're building? Is that what you're consciously creating? Or are you just going there, seeing what's happening, and leaving it the beck and call of the universe, right?
Yeah, I'm at the universe's whim.
How soon until you're going?
And then 1 week from now.
So you got some time to start manifesting and creating, and you need to get really crystal clear on what you're going to want.
Yep.
And you can create something and get deep and intimate with him in less than a week, easy, to see how that goes. Take it as a dance, as a test, as an experiment, where Anya's driving the boat and it's not all this heart shit and all this deep shit, and just feel where that viscerally stands in your body.
Okay.
Isn't that huge?
Oh,
It's not in your
God.
head. When you really feel what's possible, where does it land in your body?
I guess just the heart.
Yeah. Where's your sexuality in that?
I need to think about this and come back to you.
But there's all these connected pieces. It has
Yeah.
nothing to do with your head. The head's talked you out of it
Oh yeah.
in a bunch of ways, but it's completely in opposition to what your desire is. Deeper. That met small Anya, adult Anya, teenage Anya that wants something.
I think it's also just like body shaming myself, because I just know that his former partner was like an Italian Puerto Rican, and I'm like, okay, this person, he's obviously into shapely women, and I am not a shapely person.
How does he know how sensitive a smaller, more petite body is, that built for speed and action than a big jiggly Puerto Rican woman that's all bouncy and smothers the shit out of him every time they're in the middle of sex? And every body is different, and it's like you're like a violin versus a bass,
Yeah.
whatever you call it, the Yeah.
cello or something.
cello or something, right?
Double bass string.
That's what you're seeing. You're going to find out very soon. Make the advance
Okay.
and see. And then if it goes sideways, there'll be a chance where you can send intimate pictures or whatever, and you're going to find out if that's what he wants or not. And if it's like, that's hot.
I'm gonna say something.
Please.
No, I mean I'm gonna say something.
Okay, to him. I'm looking forward. If
Yeah,
if
you'll
you
be
want to
there.
share.
You'll be there. We'll be still doing these damn lives over there.
Yeah. But how much does that excite you? How does that sexually feel? Because now it's like a rush.
My palms are all sweaty.
Beautiful. Because it's possibility.
Well, it's just something that I don't usually do as well.
Do you want to be the old Anya?
No.
Fuck that. Get out of your box and start screaming. Stand up out of the back of the limo and take your shirt off and present Anya to the world.
That's
That
beautiful.
could be fun too.
That sounds fun.
No. We're here for all the different experiences, and the world has just programmed you out of trying the things that might really turn you on and make you feel met.
Even better, yeah.
And you deserve
Three,
far
three,
better
three.
than you've allowed yourself.
Yeah.
And I do too, because I shut myself off. We could have a discussion. I could probably do much of the same thing. I just have always thought of myself more fat or more unbecoming to women. And the workshop I'm going to next weekend, it's all about nudity and going through sacred sexuality and all this kind of stuff. And I'm not scared a little bit. I'm like, I love this body. And like I said, it's built for pleasure, not speed. And once you get to that point, then it's like, it's really them that might have a choice. And most of that was just my story going in my head.
That's true.
So getting better every day.
Every day.
Every day. So hopefully I didn't see anybody comment. I keep looking over here, or maybe it's frozen. I don't know. No, it says an hour 30 and somebody's watching. So whoever's watching, I hope you enjoyed. We decomposed relationship and
God.
some of the human male-female condition on this planet.
And this was very valuable because I feel like so many people can relate and have been or are in these situations where, you know.
And they don't even know that they're just trying to protect themselves, and protecting yourself cuts you off from your receiving.
Yes. You got to take chances.
I squeezed that thing out, and how many women could I date, and how much connection could I have, and how much sex could I receive with that thing squeezed right off? Well, now it's open.
It's open.
It's opening. I draw the women in, I draw the experiences in, I draw the courage in to be able to make the asks and show up when they present. I'm looking forward to it.
Very good.
It's coming in, guaranteed. Loving everyone, especially the lovely Anya here that's been intimately vulnerable, which is beautiful.
Thank you,
your
Paul.
face is getting red because possibility is expanding.
It's expanding.
I'd love to see you get exactly what you want.
Thank you. Likewise.
Thank you.
We deserve it. We do.
We all deserve it. Anybody
Yeah.
listen to this call, feel the energy, look at the places where you've cut yourself off, and you're going to be surprised.
Yeah. It feels good.
Outside the box. Cool. Okay, we shall meet again on Monday next week, whatever day that is, from 7th. So
Oh my gosh. Yep. Monday the 7th.
week is zooming.
Oh.
Hopefully, I'm calling in lots of miracles, divine stuff. God showing me all the wows. God showing Anya all the wows. And I think you're going to be really surprised. Because that's why you're scared shitless over there right now. And you're like, fuck, I just opened that door and it's going to happen. Cool.
Cool.
Beautiful. Thank you.
I'm gonna go eat some burgers now.
And get that text ready for tonight.
Okay, bye.
Bye. See you later. Scary, but it's fun. Have fun all. Thank you.
Bye.
Good evening.